everyone, Lindsay Ford here, and today we're going to really dive into how to create more sustainable nutritional changes in your life. So how can you actually have the changes that you're already making today be something that you can see yourself doing a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, and you're actually so excited about it. So isn't that great? So really thinking the long-term gain versus short-term gain, where we are built for instant gratification. So can we actually think about the future and create sustainable changes, which is, like I mentioned probably in other videos, is really easier said than done. Today what we're going to dive into is really creating boundaries for yourself. A boundary, I'd say, when it comes to the food piece, is really deciding what's okay for you and what's not okay for you. So what's safe and what theoretically is that danger, oh my gosh, warning sign, and really figuring out what's not safe for you. So I'm going to show you guys this visual, and I like to call this the nutrition hula hoop. So we've got this hula hoop that represents this border here. On the inside, there's safeness, there's safety, and on the outside, we've got unsafe. If we think about it relationship-wise, we probably all have certain individuals, or maybe they're not in our lives anymore, that we would consider them maybe unsafe. They may be toxic to our life. And then we've got the safety piece where they're people that we're around, we trust them, we feel like they help ground us, they are supportive. There's a lot of positive there. It doesn't mean it's always going to be easy, but they're safe. So the border, this hula hoop, really kind of is that protective nature. So when we're thinking about food and how this really applies here, ideally we would have a lot of foods in this safe place so that you have a lot to pull from. This is your vegetables, your fruit, your whole grains, your beans, your lentils, your nuts, your seeds, your different proteins. The list can go on and on. Each person's going to be a little bit different here. I'd say our culture and our media likes to portray certain things as bad, where automatically they may feel a little unsafe and a little bit uncomfortable. So here is where there should be a lot of different things, to be completely honest, because the more we can put here, the more variety and the more nutrient and stuff you're probably going to be getting in. Now, this unsafe piece, I would say this is probably more of the bingeable, hyperpalatable foods that once you start, it's theoretically really hard to stop. It could be something that you find that you kind of eat them in solitude. There may be some different things that trigger yourself to kind of go in this direction. I'm just going to use an example of cake. So we all go to a grocery store to buy our food, probably, and we all have to probably go through that baking section at some point. And we've all seen the different cakes and baked goods that are sitting there. For some, and I've just heard this in the past, and I don't want anyone out there to feel any shame of this, but buying an entire cake and literally eating the entire thing, there is no stopping. That I would reference as more of an unsafe food for that individual because there's no stopping point. So really what I want you to think about here is figuring out, what are my safe foods? What foods can I list down to make up my grocery list, to make up my meals, to be there as my foundation? And then what are the foods that I don't know if I feel comfortable with them right now? It's not saying I'm never eating cake again. It just means that right now, maybe there needs to be something to kind of protect it where you're not really going there. Now, we can take this a step further because there are some foods that can go in either direction. I'm going to use peanut butter as an example. So it's very easy to theoretically open up that jar of peanut butter and eat more than 1 or 2 tablespoons. Very easy to do. So I would consider some foods like that very much this border because it can go either way. Maybe there's times where you can't eat the tablespoon or 2, and maybe there's occasions where the whole jar is gone. So that would be something where you may have to figure out what are specific boundaries you need to set within that particular food, and then work through that over time. So it could look something like, when I have peanut butter, I really need to use a measuring scoop when I have it. When I use a measuring scoop, things go a heck of a lot better. Or maybe it means that I'm not buying peanut butter in the house, but if I go out, I know I can handle it. We could take this and really run with it. I would encourage you to make your own nutrition hula hoop and really figure out what your boundaries are. This will help you really think about the long game and figure out how you can have a better relationship with food, even with things that we would put in this unsafe category.